financial report. So I'd ask the board to click on the October financials. And if you will look, our local sources, we collected 6% versus 6% for this time last year. Our total revenues are 17% versus 17% for this time last year. And our total expenditures are 34% versus 33%. As I explained, Mr. Chairman, at the work session, that's because of the one-time 3% raise, and we are coming back in to budget because we were higher. We had a higher percentage on our budget last month than we do this month. And we've completed 33.33% of the fiscal year, so this is a good sound budget. I'd ask the board approve as presented.
Okay, Superintendent asks we approve our budget for this month,
October.
October, I'm sorry. I have a motion.
Make a motion to approve the October 2016 financials as presented.
Second. Discussion. Very good.
Good.
All in favor?
The SPLOST, if you'll click on that, we've got good news there. $460,556.44 was collected for October. That is a near record SPLOST. As far as me and Ms. Holloway could tell, that was the third highest ever and the highest for this month. So we are on track right now, Mr. Chairman, to collect $24,204,575.19, which would be a record collection. I'd like to point out our first SPLOST that was passed by the voters in 2000. We collected $13 million. I can't say enough about SPLOST. It has been a great aid to our school system. It allows us to have the facilities that we have, and it frees up money that we would use for facilities so that we can provide programs that we couldn't provide otherwise to our children. I hope that the community continues to appreciate SPLOST. You know, I'm always proud to quote that 81.26% voted yes for it the last time we put it on the ballot. So we don't need any action on this. Oh yeah. Oh, and it's not bonded either.
What?
It's not bonded either. We think that we can start the new ag facility without having to bond too. So that's great news to be able to start a project like that on the front end.
No comment, Bobby. I have nicknamed the Chamber of Commerce here our Golden Goose because they serve our system so well.
They laid the golden egg, didn't they?
They blessed our system.
They have. No actions required on that, so click out of here. Let's go to our budget amendment. Mr. Inslee, are you just going to shake your head yes?
No, sir. Got it. We estimated $66,138 for our Title 6B RLIS money when the budget actually was amended and dropped. It is $64,829. We ask that you guys take action on that tonight.
So I'll make that recommendation.
Okay. Here have a motion on the budget amendment.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
And then we have approved our Schedule 4 SPLOST expenditures. Ms. Holloway.
In the 2010 legislative session, House Bill 1013 was approved, and that was for us to annually issue a non-technical report for the Board of Education to publish it in the local newspaper prior to December 31st of each year. This is the expenditures from SPLOST 3. We do not report it based off of revenues, but actual expenditures. And we have to report by category: the original estimated cost, the current estimated cost, third category, amounts expended in prior years, amounts expended in current year, whether project is underfunded or behind schedule, and statement of any surplus funds which have not been expended. We were on track to collect $23 million for that SPLOST cycle, or that was the max that we could collect, and we have spent $5 million in fiscal year 16 and $13.3 million in prior years. And this will be published in the newspaper next week.
Thank you, Ms. Holloway. Do we need board action on this?
I would like, we don't have to have it, but yes, it'd be nice.
So I recommend that the board approve our Schedule 4 SPLOST expenditure.
Okay. Chair have a motion for that.
So moved. You have a second?
Any comment? All in favor?
Local board training, it seems like we talk about that a lot, Ms. Walton, so
We do. Mr. Galloway participated in his new board member orientation today with Justin Old from Pioneer Rista, and we hope you found that informative. And so he has started that training, so we will be prepared in January when he comes on the board to make the selections for the dates when you want to do your training for the year.
next, appoint school board attorney, and as I had said Tuesday, Ms. Lynn Doss is a true advocate for our system. She does work where she forgets to bill us at times, I believe. She is also a very big advocate for us. She comes when I call, and I call usually about 7 in the morning, don't I, Lynn? So she is a great friend of the system, and I ask that the board appoint her as our school board attorney for the upcoming calendar year.
The chair have a motion to appoint Ms. Doss as our attorney for the student.
So moved.
Second.
You have a second?
All in favor?
Could you raise your hand for that, Kay?
Take that personally.
Next is superintendent's evaluation of personnel, and I assume, Mr. Chairman, that the board will want to go into executive session.
I say we will.
All right, and we are gonna ask that the public go out and then go in the side door. Oh, I'm sorry, but as soon as we make the motion, we're gonna have Ms. Walton lead the way.
Chair have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel.
So moved.
You have a second?
All in favor? While in executive session, no motion or action is taken. We need to approve the executive session minutes for June the 9th. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay. Next, Mr. Chairman, is personnel, so let's,
Superintendent's evaluation for personnel.
I thought we were holding that to the,
Okay.
No.
No,
We're
he's
holding
gonna-
comments.
okay, go ahead then.
In our evaluation of our superintendent, he exceeded all the areas that we questioned him on and thought about him and all this stuff. And I will announce that our board members will make their comments about that at the board member comments at the end. So you exceeded everything. Doing a great job.
I appreciate that. I work with a good board, and I work with a lot of good people, and we've got a good system. So that has a lot to do with my evaluation. All right, resignation, Grady Rogers and Courtney Simons, both effective December 21st. I make that recommendation.
Superintendent recommends we accept the resignation of these two personnel. Have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second? All in favor?
Recommendations, Marcy McDonald, teacher.
Have a motion on that?
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Tiffany Hurd, assistant payroll and finance bookkeeper.
That a good one, Susan?
I hope.
I'll make a motion on that. All in favor?
John Travis Sennard as custodian.
Sure have a motion to hire this person as custodian.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Recommendation for substitute bus drivers, Terry Paulson, Grady Rogers.
Have a motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? We're done now.
We've gotten through the personnel, so it's superintendent's comments. I told y'all, we had some good news. It came out of embargo today, and I'm gonna let, Robert, you're gonna do more than shake your head yes, right? I'm gonna let Mr. Inslee go through this with us. He is our testing coordinator, so it is his honor to share this information.
I bring really good news about our CCRPI. CCRPI stands for College and Career Readiness Performance Index. And if you look at the scores up there, the first column is the state average in 14-15. You notice that I highlighted that in red because the state average went down to 71.7 at the elementary level, 75.7 at the high school level, and just barely went up at the middle school level. In Fannin County, last year, you can see our scores, and then in 15-16, you can see they're all in green, which means that we increased tremendously in our CCRPI scores. I am very, very proud of that. You look at the 77 to 82, 5-point increase. East Fannin had a 12.1 increase from up to an 81. West Fannin had 73.7 to 82.5. Middle school, 75.3 to 78.3. High school, 85.8 to 87.2. You can see those numbers there in that next one, the increase. So we had significant gains. When I looked at a lot of these things, a lot of systems went down, but we went up. And you can look at that far column, and that's the amount of points that we are above the state average. And we are significantly above the state average. So that, I want to say congratulations to our principals. They did a phenomenal job. Their commitment to their teachers, their staff, their students, all the time and effort truly, truly paid off. I had to put up there again Miss Finley's statistic about 94.4, because we were third in the state with our four-year cohort rate for graduation.
So did we beat Union County?
In some capacities, we did, yes.
Very
At
good.
the elementary level, we did have a higher average than Union County.
Very good. High school was second in Pioneer Risa.
We went through collecting some data today as well, and that's where we have us positioned the second highest in Pioneer Risa.
Remember what I say about Pioneer Risa, it is the SEC, not the ECC, but the SEC of Risas. So that is extremely good news. Our board got, and I have a hard time with this word, but they got the exemplary school board status this December the 7th. Fannin County School District is proud to announce the achievement status of Georgia School Board Association's 2016 Exemplary School Board Recognition. The recognition program was designed to showcase the best practices in school governance and leadership. GSBA recognizes good school board governance to foster educational community cultures in order to advance student learning. The rest of it's pretty much about GSBA and whatnot. I don't take the time to thank this board. One of the reasons that we are successful and we can post those games and have good statistics is because we have a school board that works together, doesn't run agendas. And I know y'all hear me say this a lot, but it means a lot because this is a unique school board. They work together. They have the best interest of the students at hand. They work hard. There's a lot of training. We sat with Mr. Galloway today. He was here almost all day for new board member training. They put a lot of hours into this job. Well, the school board pay, you gonna get rich, Mr. Chairman? No.
I hope not.
It's almost a volunteer job, Richard. And to have this good of a school board who strives to get things like exemplary school board status, that just means the world. It's, you talk about giving me a good evaluation. My good evaluation comes from y'all because y'all behave and you do what you're supposed to do for the children. And it makes my job look easy when you've got a board that operates that way. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate everything that y'all have done for our school system this year. I appreciate the way that you work with and respect with each other. And I truly respect what y'all show the school system. Y'all lead by example, and that's a good thing. Like I said, I'm a procrastinator, and I had to write this down. We had somebody sitting at this table that began teaching at Morganton Elementary School in 1969. I entered first grade that year. Well, I've called you away for a while, but in the early 70s you returned to the system and moved to West Fannin.
No,
No? That's how we have you in the time sheets.
I was in East Fannin.
Okay. All right. So then you came back to West Fannin. So I called you away and you came back to West Fannin. And in August of '76, you moved to Fannin County High School as part of the English department. You taught for a total of 26 years. You were an assistant principal for 1 year, you were testing coordinator and curriculum director for 2 years, and superintendent for 5 years, before retiring in 2007. When Ms. Dunn was called away to the DOT board, you came back as a board member in 2011, and you told me, you said, I will come, but I won't run. But you did. Because I begged her to. As you can see, you've always returned to support and help the system in any needed capacity. You're very special to me. You taught my brother, you taught me, you worked for my dad, and I brought a picture of her and my dad. My dad really respected you, and that says a lot, because he's a hard man to get respect from. And he's always thought the world of you as a teacher and as a friend. You've been my co-worker, you've been my boss, but most of all, you've been my dear friend and advisor. I'm going to miss you, and most importantly, the school system's really going to miss you. I love you, Sarah. I'm going to keep calling and bugging you. You hear me? With that said, I have no more.
Wow, it's hard to pick up on that, but I've been on the board, I think, 6 years coming up this January, and Miss Messier's been here practically with me from the start. I don't know what it'll be like to have somebody different on the school board, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure Mr. Chad will be wonderful. I was thinking about the impact you've had on the school system, and I don't know if there's any way you can tell what she's had, the people that she's been a role model, she's carried herself with grace, dignity, people respect her. This school system is so much better off with you having been a part of it, and I do love you, and thank you so much.
I'll second everything that's just said about Sandy, and I'll come back to Sandy. But last meeting, I missed Mr. Henson's announcement, so I want to address that first. And the best I can say is that he's a kid person. And the best I can say of another man or person is that he has won my respect. I don't give that very lightly. And I truly believe he's a friend. This is the next highest honor I guess you could bestow upon a person. And if you'll keep those thoughts in your mind, picture Mr. Henson in a blue and red tight-fitting outfit with a large S on his chest, a cape on his back with the wind blowing, with his
Superman comics have quit selling media.
with his steely look from his eyes, his well-mannered, self-controlled discipline, passing on his greatness to all those around him. And my comment to Ms. Sear would be, I would love to know how many lives have been changed, how many other kids went to college because of her leadership and her input with those kids, because I suspect there would be a great number. So I told her before the meeting, God bless you, Sandy. Thank you for your work of your life, spending it to help kids and to change kids' lives. So with that, I'll close.
Going back to
I
Mr. Fannin.
forgot about Mr. Henson. You've been the superintendent my whole 6 years. I don't know any other superintendent. There's gonna be a change for me there. I don't know if he'll adapt to me the way you have, but me and you, we've settled many a score. Well, the only thing I can do is give me, thank you.
First, we congratulate the principals of our schools for those outstanding scores. That is why we do what we do. It all goes down to those individual students who are learning, who are achieving, who are growing, and you play such a vital role in that. So congratulations, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for just your excellent leadership. Mr. Henson, who we evaluated tonight, as I said at the last meeting, your work is exemplary. If you think of the pebble in the pond and those waves radiating out in all directions, you think of the lives you have changed. It's remarkable just to ponder the difference that you have made in so many lives and the excellence that you've brought to our system and the opportunities that will afford to the students in the future. So, if I could think of any more terms to describe you, I would use them, but again, your work has been exemplary. I had the good fortune of working with Ms. Mercier as the superintendent. She was superintendent whenever I first ran for Board of Education. And then got to work with Mark since then, but then getting to work with her on the board also has been a joy. I have a grandfather who's one of my heroes. And he walked from where I live now here in Fannin County in 1918 down to Barrow County and found a place he could rent. Walked back, got my grandmother, and they moved with oxen and a wagon, and his goal was to get close enough to the University of Georgia to go to school there, and he did. And he served as principal, and back then, the dim ages, the principals actually taught classes, so he served as principal and taught for 47 years, and then served a term as school superintendent, a 4-year term. I grew up in a family that valued education. As I mentioned earlier, he was one of my childhood heroes and remains so. I don't have very many of them, but you're one of them also. The sophistication, the expertise, the experience that you brought to this board has been invaluable. There's just no way that we could have accomplished what we've been able to accomplish without your steady guiding influence. We're certainly going to be missed here, but she's assured me that I can continue to call her and discuss issues with her, and I certainly plan to do that. It has been a joy to work with you over these years.
Well, I wrote something out, and I knew I couldn't get through it, so I'll send it to the papers. It has been my privilege, and it has been humbling to be a part of the Fannin County Board of Education and to be a teacher. And you have to tell Frank that those words inspire me. As far as Mr. Henson goes, you notice everybody, he shaved his beard.
There was a particular lady at the table that did not like my beard. So that was my parting gift.
But one of your greatest assets is your ability to communicate your vision to the board and to your staff and to your teachers, and I think that's what it's all about. Developing young futures, learning for tomorrow, today. And you embody that, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm a lucky man. I learned my leadership style from Frank and you, so I'm a lucky man.
I think I'm done.
You're done. Well, there's 4 people up here first, and I really can't add nothing to it. All I can say is I agree 150% with what's been said. You're gonna be hard to replace. There's somebody that can take your seat. I just don't think there's anybody capable of it. I'm serious.
Robert Foster, another wise man, said, you can remove your hand from a bucket of water and that's the impression you leave, so I am very replaceable. Y'all will do fine.
I have appreciated your friendship since I've known you on board. And we've accomplished a lot of good things.
We'll remain friends.
Sure, yeah, I still got your phone number. BR548. But anyhow. It is 49.
Okay. See, sometimes they put names in personnel to make it sound like junior samples, I do.
Yeah. But we do appreciate it. Ms. Messier, she is Margaret to me. That's mine and her
I don't know where that
thing. I don't know where it came from either, but she is Margaret to me, and sometimes I call her and say, "Hey Margaret, what are you doing?" You know, stuff like that. But anyhow, there's a person told me one time, back several years ago, said they were from a different county than ours, and asked me about the school board, and I said, "Yeah, I'm still on it." He said, "There's one thing that you don't want to do. You don't want an ex-superintendent on your school board." And I can sit here tonight and tell you, that is not the case. This lady right here is true. She's one of those jewels, you know, Scripture talks about a good lady is far above rubies. She's one of those. You got a ruby, Tim. You know that, don't you? There's a bunch of rubies sitting here. They are. But anyhow, it's gonna be me. And I'll always love you.
But you'll call me Margaret.
But I want to. I call you Miss Messier when I need to. Got anything to play now?
Well, I normally never speak, but I do really love
I normally don't do this. We got principals. You want to say anything?
For me, I've been here 8 years, so I've had the opportunity to get to know the board, and Mr. Henson, so it's a bittersweet ending. I hear all the sentiments, and I agree wholeheartedly. I always think, what's it gonna look like in the future? Knowing both Mr. Henson and Ms. Mercier, I know they're gonna be available to us, and that's why I'm just so grateful. It's an honor to be a part of the system, and I think we all feel like things we're doing in schools is to give back, to make you proud, like our parents, and you guys have given us the support, the continuous support, to allow us to do our jobs in the schools. And that, as a high school principal, you have no idea how much that's appreciated. And of course, we're going to miss Mr. Henson and Ms. Mercier, and we're just grateful that the rest of you are coming back. Correct? So I just, on behalf of the high school, if any other principals want to say anything, I think I speak for them as well.
Chad, you want to say anything? You don't have to, but I just want
What an honor it is to have known Ms. Mercier. Such huge shoes to fill, and I hope, and I will lean on you a bunch, to try to fill those shoes.
Anybody else? Lights off. Oh, I will tell you this. Talking about the score that we got, I heard that on the news this evening while I was getting ready, and I thought, I wonder where we came in at. Now, I knew that we'd come in up here. I think a bunch of them on there, way down there. But I knew we'd be up here. That's where we got this system. to adjourn?
May I make it?
You may. Have a second?
Second.
I'll say.
All in favor? Thank everyone for coming.